Here's something that just happened and almost nobody noticed. Google's AI called Gemini can now create images specifically tailored to you, using your personal data to make pictures that match your exact preferences and interests. This isn't just a cool feature. It's a pretty significant change in how AI companies think about personalizing artificial intelligence to individual users. And honestly, it raises some wild questions about privacy, creativity, and what personalized AI is going to look like in the next few years. Google's been pushing personalization hard across all its products. Your search results look different from mine. Your Gmail inbox is customized just for you. Your YouTube recommendations are built around your unique viewing habits. But image generation, that's a whole new frontier. That's a step further into territory that honestly feels kind of intimate, letting an AI learn what you like and then create pictures that reflect your taste, your interests, your style. And here's where it gets interesting. While other AI companies are racing to build bigger, more powerful models that work the same way for everyone, Google's playing a completely different game. They're making AI that's personal. They're making AI that knows you, specifically. And that change from one-size-fits-all to deeply personalized is going to change how we think about creative tools and privacy. So what exactly is Gemini? If you've been paying attention to the AI race over the last year or so, you've probably heard Google mention it constantly. Gemini is Google's answer to ChatGPT. It's their large language model, their flagship AI assistant. It's available as a web app, it's built into Android phones, and it's being woven deeper into every Google service you use. Think of it like this. When ChatGPT first launched, it was the wake-up call that got every tech company scrambling. Microsoft added Copilot to Windows and Office. Apple launched Apple Intelligence. Amazon's putting AI into everything. And Google, they're putting Gemini into literally every product they make. Now here's the really important thing about what Google's strategy actually is. They're not building one AI that works the same way for everyone. They're building AI that learns from each person individually and adapts to match their unique preferences. Your Gemini experience is completely different from mine because Google's tracking what you search, what you click on, what content you engage with, what you care about. And as of this week, that means Gemini can now generate images that are personalized specifically to your tastes and your visual preferences, which is genuinely powerful. But here's what the headlines aren't telling you. This also means Google is accumulating even more intimate data about who you actually are as a person. So how does this work under the hood? When you ask Gemini to create an image, it doesn't start from zero. Google's system looks at your personal data, your search history, your Gmail, your YouTube viewing habits, your Google Photos library, your personal preferences. It's building a profile of your aesthetic taste, your interests, your visual style. Then, when you ask for something like create an image of a modern kitchen, Gemini isn't generating a generic kitchen for everyone. It's generating a kitchen that matches your specific style based on everything Google knows about you. Think of it like having a designer who studied your taste for years and now knows exactly what you like. Except the designer is an AI, and the study period is your entire history on Google's platforms. The AI looks for patterns. If you've liked minimalist design in your searches, if you've saved Scandinavian furniture photos, if you watch design content on YouTube, all of that feeds into how the image is generated. Now here's the interesting part. Google isn't storing this as a visible checklist of your style preferences, but it exists in the AI's understanding of you. And that data is being used to create something you might actually want more than a generic image, which is the whole point. So what can you actually do with this? Let's say you're a designer and you need mood board images. Instead of getting the same generic design aesthetic every AI would give you, Gemini can now generate images that match your documented design preferences. Or maybe you're planning a home renovation. You could ask Gemini to show you kitchen designs, and instead of getting the same trendy options everyone sees, you get kitchens tailored to your specific taste based on your Pinterest-like behavior across Google's platforms. Here's another scenario. You're writing a novel and you need character reference images. You could describe your character to Gemini, and it could generate images that match the aesthetic and style of the books and artwork you've engaged with online. So if you've got a visual taste that leans indie or retro or cyberpunk or cottagecore. Gemini learns that and generates characters that fit your preferred aesthetic world. The real power here is that the AI becomes more useful because it's learning what you actually like instead of just showing you what the model thinks everyone should like. Traditionally, an AI image generator would show you 10 similar results for any request. Now imagine those 10 results are each slightly tweaked to match your individual taste. That's what's happening. And for creative professionals, that's actually a pretty significant time saver. But here's the kicker. It only works if Google has a lot of personal data about you, which means this feature rewards people who have been using Google services the most. So how does this compare to what other AI image generators are doing? Dolly, Midjourney, Stable Diffusion, they all generate images, but they work pretty much the same way for every user. You describe what you want, they generate it, you get the same style of output, whether you're a professional designer or someone just playing around. They're powerful tools, but they're not personalized. There are other AI companies working on personalization. OpenAI has some data about what you've done with Dolly before, so it learns your style over time if you keep using it. But Google's taking it a step further by pulling data from across their entire ecosystem. It's like comparing a music streaming service that only knows what songs you've played on that app versus a music service that also knows what you searched for, what you've read about, what devices you use, what time of day you listen. Google's using everything. The difference is significant. With Dolly or Midjourney, you're basically training the AI through trial and error. You ask for something, you don't like it, you tweak your prompt. Google's system already knows what you like before you've even asked. It's like the difference between a search engine that gives everyone the same results versus Google Search that gives you personalized results. Except now it's personalization applied to creative tools, which is new territory. Now let's talk about what this means on a bigger scale, because this feature raises important questions. First, there's privacy. Google's always collected your data, that's their business model. But this is different. Your data isn't just feeding ad targeting anymore, it's shaping what creative content the AI makes for you. The more personalized the AI gets, the more data Google needs. Second, there's what this means for human creatives. If AI gets personalized to match your taste, it becomes a better tool for faster output, which is great for productivity, but it also means amateurs with a personalized AI might compete with professionals more easily. The barrier to entry gets lower. That's good in some ways, more people can create, but it's a change the creative industry has to reckon with. And then there's the bigger picture. Google is building an AI that knows you personally. It understands your taste, your interests, your preferences. That's useful. But it also means Google understands you in ways that feel almost invasive. They're not just building a search engine, they are building an AI that can predict what you want before you ask. That's a level of personalization that honestly deserves more scrutiny than it's getting right now. This is where it gets complicated. So if you want to try this, how do you access it? If you're on Android, the feature's rolling out now in the Gemini app. Google says it's coming to other platforms later, but Android users get it first. Open the Gemini app, find the image generation feature, and request an image. The personalization happens automatically in the background. You don't have to opt in. Google's already using your data to personalize it whether you noticed or not. If you want to opt out, go into your Google account settings and adjust your privacy settings, which is a whole separate thing. But here's what's useful to know. The more you've used Google services, the better this works. If you've got years of Gmail search history, YouTube watch time, and Google Photos, if you've been living in the Google ecosystem, then Gemini has plenty of data and the personalization gets more refined. If you just installed the app fresh, the AI doesn't know your taste yet. So it's pretty generic. It learns over time. And here's what you should watch for. Google's going to keep expanding this to more tools. So personalized AI is going to become the default way you interact with them, whether you chose it or not. So here's what this really means for you. Google's building the most personalized AI consumer ever created because they have more data about you than any company in the world. Is that useful? Yeah, in a lot of ways, personalized tools are actually better tools. Are they powerful? Absolutely. Should that concern you? I think it's worth thinking about. Because as AI gets smarter and more personalized, the companies building it are also getting better at understanding and predicting human behavior. That's not inherently bad, but it is a thing worth paying attention to. The bigger story here isn't that Google made images more personalized, it's that personalization is becoming the baseline. We are moving into a world where AI doesn't treat everyone the same anymore. It's tailored to individuals based on massive amounts of personal data. That changes how AI works, how companies profit from AI, and what it means to use technology in 2026. Here's what to watch for over the next few months. Keep an eye on how other companies respond to this. Does OpenAI launch personalized Dolly? Does Microsoft make Copilot more personalized? Does Apple do the same with their AI? Because once Google proves that personalization drives user engagement, everyone's going to chase it. And that means we're all going to be living in a world where AI knows us intimately. That's the real story. Thanks for watching. Follow for daily AI news.